Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Thursday stream. Today we're gonna do the random stuff. Maybe I should stop the music. Today we're gonna do random stuff by trying to see what everyone played into this series in the last week. I just have no idea how we're gonna do it, so we're gonna have to figure it out as we go. Whatever is the most entertaining to watch. For now, we will have the screen, I guess. We do. And we shall look at the tournament themselves. We of course have TT Queen, TT King, Master Shodan Jotsu. I don't think I have to introduce it to everyone. I think you guys know what it is. A big tournament that we have on the server. Round 1 just finished on the Sunday, so we can watch some games. I can tell you what happened on the backstage, if I know what happened, just to have some rumors spreading. For example, in TTQ, we had Karolina versus Tokyo Peach. And this game was at first defaulted by Karolina because she didn't show up to the game. But Tokyo Peach relaunched the game and they played again. As you can see, the result flipped. So I think it's worth mentioning that Rebecca really showed a nice fair play spirit that costed her a point. We're gonna take a look at the game as well, and this one as well. Plus Lens, handicap. Viredin getting stronger. Viredin is playing in 2 tournaments actually at the same time. Also WSL, I don't know actually. Really getting stronger each time, each season. Nice watch. So I don't know how to do it with the screen, because each time we'll have those pieces loaded. Let me figure it out. All right. I don't know if we want to like walk over all the games. Like that, the rook disappeared. Walk over all the games quickly, or just find something that happened. Maybe I should be choosing games with the most unusual moves every week. I don't know. This game was unusual because, as I said, one side defaulted to begin with. I know there is like 1 or 2 games that made my jaw drop, like the score totally flipped during the game. Here you can see that Rebecca was attacking very strongly. But somehow the game turned around, so I wonder, yeah, okay, the rook got activated, right? Perhaps that's what's happening here. Rebecca's decision to attack might have been too much because of this attack over here being very quick. And we used the gold to protect, so that's not good, I think. Around here it became a little bit suspicious. But I guess even if you protect, the rook can take here, forking those 2 things. That's also very hard to block already. That's a tough situation. Yep, there are like 50 games. How do I choose one game from all of these? Yep. I actually blocked the Billionaire yesterday to not get my heart nervous every morning I open my Twitter. I just blocked him yesterday. Yeah, and this flipped very quickly, as you can see. Karolina took the first win. But good fight from Rebecca. Here, actually, Viredin is the one giving handicap and winning. So that's very, you would say, unusual. But we're playing against 10Q, so like we're already losing silver for knight. And generally, well, clean win from Viredin, I think, yeah. This ending Sume here, it is pretty cool. Because we sacrificed the bishop on the edge. As it's not, well, okay, sure, we could have dropped the bishop here, but this is like total flex from Viredin. We take this bishop, this king dies to back gold, rook pattern. It was pretty cool ending, yeah. Pretty nice flex from Viredin. Yeah, so that's TTQ. Currently, Karolina and Viredin have the same amount of points, so they're gonna be facing each other in left lance handicap. And TTQ has only 3 rounds because of the number of people, so every point counts a lot. Yeah, every point. In case of the same amount of points, we're gonna have playoffs. This is a new rule from this season, so that we don't have situation from the last season. All right, Tourney to King. Let's see. We have the previous season King, which is Divine. We have 3 new faces, Melkor, Lily, and Lincoln, who are, I think, a little bit too low rated for this tournament, but they wanted to take the challenge. Yeah, they're like, I mean, Lincoln probably was the one that, yeah, Lincoln is like barely in. Then you have Lily and Melkor, who I guess pulled with the saying Lincoln is not better than us and jumped in and fighting. This is very good spirit. I like to see. And notice that Lily isn't playing in TTQ this season. I think that's a good choice. She can concentrate on improving her skill instead. I think it's pretty cool. Hi, Lily. You were in TTK last season as well. Ah, right. But yeah, we have Melkor and Lincoln, which means there's more people. I think there was like 2 other people, one French, one Hungarian, Linkway and Nara, right? Right, last season still. And also we have 2 Taiwan players who are very strong and light to die, as you saw on the pro event. He totally spoke better Japanese than I did, so hey, that's an achievement itself. It didn't live up to your expectations, but in general, the quality of play. Yeah, let's take a look at it. I took a look at all games. I even saw your games live. I don't know if you know Lily and Leon. I thought Lily was winning, but then something happened. We can talk about that. Koshiro dying to like to die. That's surprising as well. And we have, of course, Lincoln taking his European Champions Cup for here. So I guess we can quickly take. I think I was supposed to analyze this game later on. Because I'm pretty sure Lincoln sent it to our Kifu review. So I'm gonna talk about this in more detail. But basically, it was Yoko Fudori. And Telmarch made one mistake. He told me later that was here. Well, first Lincoln made this weird move, which is a knight drop. Apparently, it's supposed to be bishop drop. And the idea of the bishop drop is that you cover the square. Because he dropped the knight, here Telmarch had the choice to go here or here. Apparently, this move was the correct choice. So that was like the crucial point, apparently. But I will analyze this game more in detail as a result. Well, Lincoln took it, chasing the king all the way over there and checkmating it. Yeah, the dragon was falling too. Quite interesting end game here. Yep. All right. Light to Dine Koshiro. It was very unusual opening from Koshiro, which is the opposing group with climbing gold that Navoisko was very excited recently teaching every beginner ever about, but the king ended up being pretty weak. And this was the most surprising part, like we sacrificed the bishop for the knight and continue attacking. This decision was pretty crucial, I think, and now we sacrifice the rook. So it seems like Light to Die just sacrificed 2 big pieces, but notice he retakes the rook. Generally speaking, Koshiro should be winning here by my feeling. But it's not easy at all, like this. Very not easy at all. Koshiro attacks very directly, but he ends up giving to, like, this king ends up being very safe, those bishops not being very active. So eventually, yeah, this king survives, and this king was checked. I don't know exactly why we sacrificed the silver over here now that I look at it. But yeah, the knight drop was undefendable, right? So weird things happen. But this is the one of the most decisive games already, even though it's the first game of the tournament. Like two strong people facing each other and one gaining the advantage gives the tempo for the tournament, right? All right. Good evening, Tori. Good morning. This is Eon Lily game. As Lily said, she misevaluated New York situation, tries to enter. Yeah, that was a little bit reckless. I watch this game like this, so it's a little bit less confusing for me to watch it like that. I watch it like this? No, no, I watched like this. I felt like Eon's rook in the center wasn't doing much. This bishop was interesting, but in the end, I think we over-attacked a little. I was the longest time I was thinking about silver drop here. I was eating dinner at the time, I remember. So I was like, silver drop, knight on promotion. After that, unforgivable. Oh wow. Yeah, I was thinking like knight takes, pawn takes, and king starting escape. That was like my main concern. But at the same time, but at the same time, I wasn't sure, you know. It doesn't. I mean, it looks scary for a moment. God, I should not take. Okay, let me see. Should not take and counter. But then, similar situation. Yeah, I guess if we move this here, this is taken, and then yeah, maybe that's the variation. Yeah, it looks more like it. Yeah. I think that was it. What I was wondered about the most. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, option B is something like this, but it's a little bit awkward, perhaps. Take unpromoted. Like, might complicate the position just a little bit. But again, probably we can take, and start running. And this way, Eon has like only what, 2 generals and 1 knight. In the end, we went this way. Hi, Gian Blitz. Yeah, I agree. I think. I mean, I just wasn't sure if the actual game was more or less decisive, basically. So what is our plan here? Like, pawn push, what is giving us? What kind of advantage is pawn push giving us? Like, a main question. There are sometimes cool moves like this, which, well, in this case, it defends the pawn, but also like forces enemy. For example, it will force them to use a general, and then they're stuck with 2 generals on the same row. Sometimes those kind of defensive king movements putting pressure on the bottom general are hard to see, but pretty cool on high level shogi. Yeah, but in this case we defend the pawn, right? Unless we're talking gold drop. Yeah, thanks. be happening. It's true. It's not easy. It's not. Bishop 6. I mean, gold 6-5. Bishop 6-5. You don't have a bishop. I mean, they don't have a bishop. Yeah, the rook can promote. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Okay. I like the double pawn push though. It looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Like preventing rook promotion is our main goal right now, right? 2-for-1. Then the bishop seemed like it's not preventing. Oh, around here, I thought you should give up on that knight already. Yeah. Oh. It looked the size. The question is how good of a move is this? We get 2 pieces for 1. If that's a mistake, then different move here. But I think it makes sense to get 2 pieces for 1. I should be demoted for 2 down for playing. That's super job. Yeah, and here's some consider. Oh, taking is like I'm gonna defend everything you throw it. I wonder if knight jump is considerable because you don't want to give them pieces, and then you have a defender to help you enter. Something like this. Question is when should we start climbing? Because okay, we have this threat. That's not. When should we start climbing? Because it's quite vague. You're not clearly. Yeah, but here you had only a bishop, so that was suspicious, right? I wasn't sure about. Like here, Lily seems to be winning. Like Ion has nothing in hand. Even if we just go here, stay with me. Even if we just go here and drop a pawn, it's already hard to stop the king from entering, right? I mean, we have the lance drop, but let's ignore that for a moment. Like we don't have pawn even. Well, Ion, because his name is yellow, yeah. And we give the bishop, and yeah, here it's this horse move was looking like really, really scary. And the fact, yeah, this and this, yeah, this seems decisive. Yeah, whatever I'm saying, it's more like a feeling rather than actual solution to Lily's problem. I don't know what's the correct move. I just knew that around here it was over, so it has to be somewhere around those, yeah, somewhere around here and somewhere around here, especially that it mattered. The fact that we dropped the bishop, like this rook doesn't really matter as much. I think the question is, do you wanna gain more tempo to enter? I mean, we're trying to block the knight drop somewhat. It will be this move again. I wonder if we should have moved this. Yeah, this is rough. Because we would like to play moves like this, which allow us to make a token and enter. The problem, I'm not sure how to deal with the lance in that second. This is why I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, perhaps there are crazy moves like this, for example. But you can see it becomes very complex with every second. I'm glad that we used Herbiome better, yes. Really glad you guys took that lesson to heart. Because this is one of the most important things in the endgame. Rook a9 at some point. Yeah, like maybe pawn drop isn't the best move. Maybe rook drop is even better, yeah. But the lance drop is the question. How do we block it? Because this rook is gonna come here. Well, example this, yeah. Yeah. Question is, what's the good timing to do it? So if we go with the pawn, we go with the knight as we talked, and then the rook. Then we block the knight drop, yes. And maybe that's good. Maybe that's better. Continue as before. I mean, it's very easy to talk about this, like, oh, I know everything, I'm such a pro, you know, after the game. It's not easy at all during the game. If we could save this gold somehow, that would be nice. Like, gold move. Something like saving the gold, not allowing the rook to escape, then threatening to attack the rook. This would look nice, to be honest. Just temporarily, I'm afraid, because they can sacrifice it, maybe drop some silver. Fairly fine. The lens here. See what you do. Fairly fine. Maybe barely fine, but that's the problem with Nugyoku. You have to be completely fine. So I don't like moves like bishop drop. Like at a glance, because it allows them to regain the tempo, right? Now they can use the bishop on more active square, perhaps. And we gain nothing because we had bishop in hand and we still have bishop in hand. So it widens their possibility of move, right? So this is why at a glance I don't like it, but I don't say that this is wrong here. Another thing they can do is just leave your bishop here and like play a different move. And then what you're gonna do with the bishop when it's gonna be under attack, yeah? So that gives us two risk factors. And this is why I would consider this as a last resort. I mean, we say oppose the bishop with a bishop, but mostly in middle game here it requires more calculation and basically asking yourself, what do I want to do with the bishop? Let's say they take and redrop it from behind, yeah? It's like nothing changed, for example. Well, it's something changed, but let's say they go here instead. Yeah. Did they give you something? Did you give them something? You have to ask yourself those questions, yeah? Here they would be able to block your king from entering, so this is probably opposite from what you... Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just trying to figure out benefits, merits and demerits of that move, yeah, at a glance. Similarly to this bishop, yeah, because it ended up being exchanged for this rook, who did it benefit more? If you had a knight, for example, that would benefit you greatly, as you had an open space for a continuous attack. Here you give them a bishop in hand. Yeah, you can argue like, oh, my king is now safer to enter. You could argue that point. But this horse was a bigger issue, right? In this particular moment, this move was like way too strong, so perhaps we should have defended. I know it's very weirdly looking, but let's say we move this gold here. It's how much harder it is for them to continue, right? Silver up, perhaps. Knight drop. Target, and suddenly we have to read all those bishop diagonals too. Manageable, perhaps? And then we have option of going here as well, right? Yeah, maybe it wasn't the worst that scenario. But it's not winning yet because their king is still safe. Full castle. They're saying we have this move, it might be hard to stop the horse. Yeah, I mean, how are you gonna stop my rook from promoting, though? We could argue that point that now that Lily has 2 rooks, so I could argue. Yeah, rook, I agree. Rook 8-9 looks very promising. Yeah, anyway, I like from the most like scary moves of the game, I would say is this king move. It like felt really dangerous at a glance because of this follow-up. Yeah, so this is where I think something changed in the game evaluation. Of course, I'm speaking it from like now that we're calm and analyzing it without BOM, it may seem obvious, but during the game, I understand why we would play this move. Yeah, it's just that here, like we know this move exists, so probably we should have prevented. Oh yeah, so that's perhaps a good point. Yeah, calculating the directly king attacking moves is very important. But then as we get stronger, we also have to like evaluate this at a glance. I mean, this is something I never was able to do. Well, like, I mean, this is what characterizes strong pro. And, like they look at this and they are like, oh, I know the key point of this position is this, that, this, blah 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 blah, and therefore I'm gonna play blah blah to prevent that. Yeah, like the direct move they see immediately, and they calculate deeper. For us, it's more like, oh, we just concentrate on the checks, which is also very important. Yeah, why would you calculate indirect move when direct move is sume, for example? But eventually we have to reach deeper. Yeah, and it's very difficult in middle game. We can like strategically think like, oh, we got 2 pieces for 1, so it has to be good for me. We have this row. But in end game, it becomes less clear. Because if there exists one move that rebukes the whole strategy, it's failing. Yeah, so we have to check everything. And this is why endgame is so complex, so difficult. If there is one variation that ends up in sume, it makes everything else invalid, right? I never knew how to solve that problem. Probably the only way to solve that problem is calculate everything and be Fujisota, basically. Like intuition stops working at some point in endgame. Because there are those unimaginable demon tactics that come up. I mean, the basics are clear, like avoid being in checkmate, play to be 1 move faster, and so on. But then in practice, it becomes so complex, like a spaghetti. Yeah, the only way to go through it is through practice and mastery of the game. It's not good to attack the king when king is trying to enter because the entering king can use reaction as it path to enter, so I was trying to stop the entering king instead of attacking the king. But it's not something that can be felt out of this. Felt a lot of time because it's reading. Pros make mistakes with entering king all the time. Watanabe made a mistake in his game with Fuji. Fuji also made. Yeah, because it's complex. 5 down is pretty strong. Like master level, basically. Alright, let's go to the next one. Merkel versus Divine, that Ian was disappointed in. We had Central Rook. Honestly, Krivine played all the perfect moves in this game, I think. So this is a well-known thing here. Strategically speaking, when you come to exchange the silvers, the bishop comes here, which is a very nice square for the bishop. We also have this Kimura Mino being set up. It's interesting. Like more recent way of playing this position is perhaps attacking over here. The Krivine is centered, so we have to take that into account. So Melkor goes for the interesting attack. The silver though came to a perfect square protecting both ears of the rook, so bishop drop is inefficient. So therefore my question is like, There's also this move. Wonder if that was a little bit better, but hard to judge, hard to judge. Going back, yeah, we had a nice attack from Melkor here, though. In the end, yeah, it was really interesting. Clevine had this iron defense, especially here, yeah. Melkor was forced to like not retake the silver because of the attack on the gold. So maybe here we had to slow down and defend one more move. But it's really hard. This is really hard. It feels like Santa is getting a little bit of a edge here. I wonder. There are many ways to like look at this position, but basically Clevine has 2 silvers in hand right now, so he feels more powerful. The other thing we can notice is although Melkor has a bishop in exchange for that, the bishop is not active, so this is why Clevine, like those 2 silvers that he got, right, feel a little bit more powerful at a glance. Silver 855. What if the silver comes here, right? I mean, saying things like it's very uncharacteristic of him or something is quite a weird thing to say, I think. Like, he did his best in this game, I'm pretty sure, so, like, saying this move is like, oh, I didn't expect that of him. That is like a little bit oversaying, eh, perhaps. Pretty sure he did his best. Divine is just very, very strong player. As you know, we played him in the past as well. It may seem like, oh, this, if you only play this move, you would be winning. No, no, it's never that simple, especially against strong people, especially on this level. Like this move, for example, like crazy. Well, weird, very complex game continued. I don't understand this move. A lance drop. Then we're afraid of lance drop. I think it's just the difference of strength. I mean, it's okay. It's a weird thing to say again, like, but it seems like Clevine is doing whatever he wants the whole game, and the reason why it looks like this is because he is so much stronger. Basically, he calmly calculates and like finds the correct answer, making it seem like Merkon can do nothing, but Merkon cannot do anything because he's outclassed, basically. And this is a feeling that I had a lot being in Japan, playing against strong players. Like, I do my best, and they just destroy me with no effort. This brings painful memories. But it's this type of a game. It's just years of experience difference type. Like the fact that Melkor brought it to this position. Wait, which position? Like in the end, it was really close, I felt like. Like the rook drop was a nice combo, but just turned out it wasn't enough. Yeah, very sad. But it was like one move behind type of situation, which is the best you can do in the like in losing position. Yeah, Melkor is getting stronger each time. He has potential indeed. Won his first tournament recently. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna take this as experience. I think I saw him play 10-second Shogi yet today already. He's training, right? So that's good, that's good. Alright, let's see another one. Masters. So we had two people who like didn't answer at all, which is surprising to me because it's the first round, and why wouldn't you even appear on the first round? Or two, so it's disappointing. We had this very surprising game, Clomac versus Pharmacist. It seemed like very close. All the games are quite interesting if you look at them. As you see, Veredin won her game as well. We had some new Brazilian players like Kambui won against Killer Daki, Polish player as well, fighting his way up, and Rida trying his best, right? I don't know which one to show you. Maybe Clomac Pharmacist. I remember having some form of emotional reaction for it, so what was interesting about it? Quite a crazy game. Maybe just the fact that Clomac fought really well in this position, yeah? Like, barely hanging on and yet winning. The ending was crazy too, like, is this checkmate or not type of situation. It's quite exciting to watch, basically. But in the end, like, this king got so beautifully checkmated that I think that left an impression on me, if I remember correctly. The other day's game was wonderful. All right, let's take a look. So we had right side king, I assume, yeah. Oh yeah, right side king. That was pretty one-sided, wasn't it? Taking off the gold like this with the knight, this usually indicates one side is much better than the other. And just showing the domination. Yeah, beautiful. So the knight is protected by the knight, the rook is giving a check. Unstoppable. Really nice. How do they know when to sacrifice? So, for example, here, you didn't have to sacrifice, actually. But the feeling is good because you open up the bishop line, which supports that with the knight, opens up the rook line. So it feels good because it opens all the pieces. Then we just get in. Here we kind of sacrifice the silver because we recognize both of our rook and bishop will be very powerful. So in this case, it looks like sacrifice, but it's not. Let me find you another game with sacrifice example, maybe. We like Gohenro. So here, for example, I would say it's a bad sacrifice because we're giving up a whole bishop for a silver. But the feeling is we want a counter attack, so we use that silver to counter on the enemy rook in order to gain tempo. So maybe one thing you would like to do is gain tempo with the sacrifice. Yeah, if you can sacrifice a piece and promote another piece, that's another example. Here, for example, yeah, we sacrifice the bishop for 2 pieces in order to get a rook. So this is a good sacrifice. Here we sacrifice the knight because we see that if we take it with the rook, our rook will be weaker. No. We want to continue attacking on the king. This is a good sacrifice, yeah? This is a little bit awkward. This bishop is falling. um, okay, and it ended. Yeah, something like this. It's a good example of sacrifice. All right, so this is Tourney to Masters. Currently, we have well done, Clomac, to do, and so on. Half of the people are in the first place. But then we will have interesting games next week, like Clomac versus Rida, Karolina versus Dan, so on, so on. Vieredin versus Cohen. Really interesting games coming up next week. So first week it's likely to be slow as usual. All right, we have Tokyo Peach as well playing in this tournament, but we should look here. Jen is playing. Jen's game was pretty interesting, guys. You should watch Jen's game. Bank didn't. He left the server. I don't know why you register for a tournament and then you leave the server. I just don't understand that. We had my student Mizuti losing against Kajimesh, which is painful to see. I'm tutoring Mizuti once per week currently, like a private lesson. So we're gonna have to take a look at it. Then we have this guy, Music Man. I think his rating was like on the edge between TT Series and TTM. He might be a little bit strong for this tournament, so keeping an eye there. And Synchro is back, yeah? Synchro and I think Turtwig played a nice game as well. Take a look at those. So Jen just destroyed his opponent, if I remember correctly, just missed Sume at the very end. So this is an example of like over-attacking, perhaps, a little bit. Okay, this shape is in the past, but okay, maybe this is interesting to do, rook drop. But our silver is still under attack, and this was unfortunate because we are afraid of some bishop drops on this big diagonal. But Jen like counter-attacked really interestingly here. Like that. And that. This was pretty interesting. Going here and promoting the bishop. Really, really nice thing here. And here we missed Tatsume, but that's another story, right? We went for Hishi. If we don't see Tsume, Hishi is good. Yep. So this was interesting game. Then we have Sparka, who's streaming, as you know, guys, recently as well. Really passionate about Shogi and VR Shogi. So on. Here is interesting engagement from the enemy on the head of the knight. Here we're getting a free silver. And this is perhaps a little bit over-defending. Over-defending because the silver will be stuck here and we still don't protect pawn drop, we cannot protect bishop, we cannot protect everything, so... Yeah, little bit wrong flow of the attack from Sparka. And here I thought, it would be really interesting if we ended up in Senjiste, actually. I think it would be acceptable. But why not horse take? I think I'm missing, which maybe it was the previous game. Would taking first with the rook have been stronger than taking with the bishop? Oh, you mean here? The silver thing? Here, maybe? They drop the rook. Take the lance. This rook gets... They will have double rook attack on our boat, so... Question is, can we use our bishops to counter their Mino? And it's gonna be a little bit hard, perhaps. On Jen's game. Yeah, Jen's game is over, unfortunately. I closed it. and reopen it easy. Here, for example, we could consider moves like this as well. Because this is gonna leave our enemy without pawn in hand, which is quite interesting. And I think maybe Sparka would be a little bit better because of she can be chased over. So yeah, this was a nice Senjte thing to. I don't think we had Nifu this round, by the way, for the first time ever. Maybe one. Maybe not at all. It was quite surprising. But yeah, generally, I'm not sure if Music Man is yet like too high of a tournament for him, but I allowed him to join TTSeries. Synchro was playing amazing. We all know Synchro is a central rook player. He was playing left side Anaguma, and here I thought the enemy should have tried to counterattack like this. Synchro would be in trouble, but he didn't. So both rooks promoted, but Anaguma is harder, and I think that's what determined the game. There was one crazy game actually. I don't remember which one that had Anaguma as well, and like barely the attacks succeeding. I won't be able to find it. I should be writing those games as I'm watching them. Maybe for the next week I'm gonna do that. Like write down the game immediately when I have like emotional reaction to it. You're kind of nervous. That's good. Nervousness is good. That means you care about the result. Just remember to not get too nervous. I wonder if Synchro has studied all the shape that Satomi is using recently with silver moving quickly to 5-7 and bishop to 6-6 early. Yeah, but this is double swinging, right? Satomi uses also no Satomi, but she would castle on the right, not on the left, I think. I like when Kara Sensei is rooting for one player, the other player always becomes the enemy. Yes. I should be using the word opponent, but yeah, I should be using the word opponent. It's just that I have no explanation. I was really surprised that because Trang was the winner, right, of last season. Like Turtwig just destroyed him. It was pretty interesting to see. Like, I won my tournament, so I'm gonna now dominate the next category. And you come in, and then you realize everyone is stronger than you. This type of moment, I thought. Stop dropping the bishop. Yeah. All right. Here, like this might have been a better idea. Just at a glance, if this moves, we just come in. This would be harder to stop, I believe. Maybe that was the chance. Sorry, guys. I didn't sleep well tonight. Oh, and this beautiful attack. Guys, look at this. Look at this. Rook drop. Wait, where's that? Where is the attack? There was a beautiful attack. Oh yeah, something like this. Targeting this weakness on the edge. Targeting the gold on the edge. Targeting the knight on the edge. Yeah, we ignore all the other moves. And then this decisive moment. You know, we cannot take the gold because of gold drop. It was a beautiful ending from Turtwig. Okay. Let's go. So this is Tourney to Shodan. Currently, again, we have many people that are strong. Kazim has played strongly too. Jen, who knows if his potential will shine in the next game, I hope. Tokyo Peach winning against all those people, yeah. I believe they're gonna continue fighting for the first place. Now, Tourney to Jozu. Who do we have here? There are two people. Unfit, I think, played very strongly at two people because they both start with A, which confused me a lot. Fujiwara Miura, I mean, clearly his name is Japanese sounding and he played really strong and solid. He's from Brazil. Gabe's God, I think, also played nicely. Night Sparrow winning, nice thing to see. Kagurila winning again. This is the TTQ player. All those games were super interesting to watch. Yeah, and this French player also played really. So if you take a look at Fujiwara, for example, like all the correct shape and everything, you know, playing the decisive tactics here already. The strong player, making it seem very, very easy. I don't think he's 7Q, basically. I don't think he's 7Q. Yeah, understanding to activate both of the big pieces. He made it look simple, basically. The king barely surviving, but surviving, and then going for the finish. It's just too sharp to be true, yeah? Definitely not 7Q. I don't know how he got this tournament, but definitely not 7Q. Then we had this illegal move at the end here. Oh, this was the most painful game of the season so far, guys. Most painful. Japanese for coffee is gumo. I didn't know that. Most painful game of the season. Hi, Contenti. We had this one side a little bit dominating, like unfit. Which country is this? Georgia? Oh, what is this country? Georgia, yes. Like, okay, it wasn't very, very hard, actually. Okay, here I don't know why we aren't going with the bishop. Going with the bishop was winning, actually. I mean, this sacrifice is strong, continued with the knight drop. But we don't have diagonal piece or anything, or like another knight to finish the king off. It's very close, but going with the rook is definitely a mistake. Going with the bishop was winning. But we have this amazing drop. And this amazing attack. And the most painful move of the year so far is the knight jump. It's like, wow, I have a tsume, I'm gonna make a check. Turns out your king isn't check itself. It's so painful. I was watching, I was like, wow, how you're doing so great. Oh no! I think he is still winning if he were to like drop the gold here or something. Yeah, to slow it down a little bit. I think he was still winning. Both kings are in check. Yeah. But only one will be captured on the next turn. So that was definitely the most painful. I don't know. It's probably more painful than the Nifu, actually. You remember watching this? Yeah. I when I saw it, I was like, yeah. So definitely the most painful game of the week one. Oh yeah. But yeah, I don't think we had Nifu this round, which is impressive. Technically, we also have less player than last season, right? 74, so like 10 people less. How many percent less just get Nifu, yeah? Yeah, basically Gaba's got doing whatever he wants here. Silver, yeah, I don't know why. Just breaking through the edge. Why did it leave an impression? I don't remember. It just was so one-sided, perhaps, yeah. Let's see one more. I unfortunately old Ziggy was also like stomped hardly by Omi. It was very one-sided. Close game, maybe? Oh, I have to say a good word about Zig Squididly. Because if you guys remember on like 2 weeks ago, maybe Time Zombie sent the game from Squididly and I criticized him for not being aggressive enough in Ureshino. And this game was so much better already. So much better. What is that noise? Yeah. When it's like that's like the worst sound. Oh god, yes. Yeah, it's also the fact that you get excited about it. So in this game, it was so much better, so much more aggressive. Yes, we lost, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, we have this proper shape. Over here, we are attacking. Really nice to watch. I wonder if Pound Drop just to get that bishop off the big diagonal. Probably. I really like that aggression. Yeah, sure, little bit like imperfect. Yeah, let's be honest, imperfect because we are 9q, but the proper strategical feeling in the end. Finally, we saw something not only defending but also attacking really nice here. Oh, of course, proving that he's stronger, but so. I just realized none of us TTJ from OTTS has won the first round. Yeah, I mean that. So the way the Swiss tournament works, I think it pairs you with the strongest one, so it's natural. Japanese music have different notes than Western music, if I understand correctly. Hey, I don't know if it's out of. Yeah, I don't know. You have perfect pitch or something. I don't know. I could get a little long rant about non-Western tuning system. I love them so much. Yeah. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Like they have more. Like I understand that some culture have more notes than normal piano. Like they have notes between the notes, and it sounds false, perhaps. That's my basic understanding of music theory. Yeah, I mean, it's like in the other language, yeah. Musical discussion is beautiful. By the way, this is a scientific fact that I read somewhere. Actually, Chinese people speaking Chinese are more prompt to is this English? More likely to perfect the perfect pitch for the reason of the accents. I found it interesting. Well, my mom always says that she's tone deaf, and I assure you she is. I don't know. Sometimes it's like tone deaf, but then, like, if you try to sing, you know it's wrong, but you cannot sing better. Sometimes it's a thing. Sometimes I struggle with that. I know it's not the correct note. I just don't know how to make it sound correct. It's a thing. I think it was written in the book 1,000 hours practice makes you master or something. Whatever. There was this famous book saying that, but it basically had this thing. Can people learn the perfect pitch? Turns out people can learn the perfect pitch. Just some people have more predisposition to learn it quicker. Yeah, I can compliment my mom on many things, but not on the perfect pitch. I don't know how you say in English, but we say an elephant stepped on my ear. We call tondif. Nice. Here you go. Tonal languages are actually only about relative pitch. Yeah, but if you have relative pitch, you can master absolute pitch, right? It's a step toward the absolute pitch. You cannot just poop and you know the absolute pitch. You need to learn the relative pitch first. Like everything in life, yes. But the question is, should you learn it? Probably not, because your ears will be in pain all the time. That's what I understood. People with perfect pitch have like, nope. Randomly they're listening to something, they're like, nope, that's the wrong note. It slammed into it like a wrestler, then took a nap for my whole life. I used to sing in a choir in church, so I'm supposed to be a little bit knowledgeable about stuff. And I was in choir in school, supposed to sing well. But I have no theoretical music knowledge apart from what Telmarch told me because he studied it for years. I have my wrong name here. All right. Yeah, I can show you my app for the end. Yeah, we finished all the games, I believe. I'm gonna show you my app to finish it off with. Because I worked very hard this week every day, like for, I don't know, 6 hours per day or even more. I'm gonna post myself on it right now. I don't know if post is the proper language for that. Go here. Android Studio. Let's go. So if you guys don't have Android phone and you cannot become a tester, the way it works currently, loading, is we have this beautiful board. Jen added a feedback to make those more ghost-like, so here we go. We also have a icon, minimalistic icon for the app. We have, I don't know if you guys will hear the sound, but I will make it loud. Sorry if it's gonna kill your ears. Maybe you can hear it. Like we have minimal feedback when you go like the wrong move. And I'm very proudly presenting to you have many options. You can choose that you want Sumain 3, Sumain 7 all at once, or you can have all the hardest ones. You can keep your screen off, it's not an issue because it's emulator, it's always on. You show piece movement or turn it off. So for example, here we can load Atsume. And I don't know if you hear, buttons make noise as well. The problem is it's not perfect because this sound and this sound uses a different speaker to explain it easily. So we have to figure out how to use the proper speaker. And if you don't know how to solve it, which you already solved, but whatever, if you don't know how to solve it, we have this hint button, which will reveal first two moves of the solution. And it plays it for you. And you can hear the piece sound, actually. And then the hint is out, you have no more options. Monetized hints. We could do that, but we shouldn't. And see, when I click the bishop, it shows me all the possible moves. Yeah, so fun fact, the piece noise is actually Android noise. It just sounds so perfectly with the pieces for some reason, and I find it very satisfying. I think we have only problem that when we promote a piece and it's the wrong move, you see, it's deselecting when it's the wrong move. But when we're promoting and deselecting, it doesn't deselect the piece, so it's a bit awkward. I need to fix that. Yeah, I was thinking to do it same as in Sume Paradise, so flip it and show all the other squares dark and the possible squares light. But I really wanted to make the release, so I didn't fix it. I just left it like this. Hello, Harbour, how are you doing today? What do you think about the Popoko Shogi? I don't know what's Popoko Shogi. And then if you promote, yeah, it promotes, make the sound. And there's like this satisfying ding when you solve it. And then you can review. No, Popco. Oh, Of course, popcorn. And then, fun fact, if you deselect everything, it's gonna tell you it's an error, which is very important, as it crashes the app if it doesn't. Please just zoom a length in the settings. Yeah, so then you have to choose the... So... Hello, Take a Peach. So that's current, like, that's basically what the app does. Like, it shouts at you when you play the incorrect move. It gives you the option to hint, it gives you the option to fail the problem, although it does nothing when you fail the problem. Just unlocks those arrows. Shows you the moves, shows you what I'm proud of. It shows you the last move, right? It shows you the colored piece. Very important. And as you can see, there is this god damn it. It's too much thinking. Make it easier, please. When you promote the piece, there's like this slowdown of animation. It doesn't play immediately. It gives like, it makes it feel natural, yeah? You play a move, they answer. And what I personally like, you don't wait forever for them to play a move, because some apps make you wait a long time and you're like, please play already. And then you misclick, and then it resets to the beginning. And if it's main 13, you're like, not again. But this app, when you make a mistake, it just allows you to redo it. I found it more natural. Yeah. It allows you to redo it without... yeah. Good icon for give up. Yes, I'm very proud of it as well. So, wait, is my kid-friendly collection able to be viewed in the app? No. It just takes the... to my collection that is... that when you go to the... Hey, Shogi? And you click Tsume problems, those are the same things here. But it allows you to click 2 or few of them at once instead. Like here you can select only 1. In my app you can select 3 and 5 and 9, for example, at once. Instead of all moves, you can limit it. I would really like to have Tsume 1 as well. I was thinking to force Terma to generate Tsume 1 based on all the others. And one more thing, when we select piece in hand, I wanted to show the possible drop moves as well. It's just that we need to implement that function in the play Shogi library. It's my problem, it's their Marcher's problem. Yeah, but eventually, yes, we would like to have the collections as well, and like statistics, maybe daily Tsume problem, stuff like that. But yeah, for now, what I have to learn, which is the biggest problem, as you perhaps saw on the Discord, is I need to learn something called... yeah, so for example, makes me depressed because I learned all of this, but there is still so much more to learn. For example, data persistence. We want the statistics to be kept on your phone, for example. Yes, so I will have to learn those. We know how to connect to the internet. But the next thing I have to learn is navigation and app architecture, and specifically adapt for different screen sizes. It looks nice. It looks nice on this app, right here. But if I were to run it on a different device, it's gonna break. Oh, is it a website or is it a mobile app, Omega? I could try it and see. Shogi. It's looks like Mahjong for some reason. Wait, no, they're different games. Shogi. It looks very weak at a glance. What I'm seeing. Oh wait, you can play it. Oh, okay, we can try it. But before I do that, let me finish my thought. So this allows you to resize the screen. Actually, I don't remember how to do it. So for example, I made it a little bit higher, and you see there's a lot of left space over here. I don't know how to resize. Unfold it, fold up. So, for example, this is like a tablet or something. It breaks it completely. Yeah. Or this was like unfold. This is tablet, for example. Yeah, it's gonna break it completely. So my app is not resizable. So the problem we have currently, some people have smaller phone and they don't see the button. That's the next issue I will have to deal with. And I know it's hard to imagine for you guys, but this particular issue has to do with the whole layout. It's gonna make a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of work. I have this. How do we deal with it? In the most fun way? I don't know. Check, oh no. And I won. Okay, so where is the expert level? Here I don't think you can choose. It says 3 stars, so I assumed expert. Oh, it's thinking. Oh no, it's thinking. Oh no, it's thinking. Oh no, it changed the avatar. I hate those programs when they start thinking like that. When I was a kid, I used to have this battle chess, and it just made it very. It refuses to allow me to promote my rook, guys. I blocked it. I cannot promote my. Oh, hello. Oh, it's bugged. I see. So it didn't allow me to promote the rook because it was thinking. Okay. It just didn't cancel the dialogue. Okay, so what if I make a token? Also, it uses 1 second of their time. This is a lie. Do we allow you to promote your bishop? Okay, I promote it. Now it's thinking. It's called Popoko Live. Play Shogi. You got a free rook. The most funny mistake you can make is by moving the gold here as a beginner. Sure, let's chase off the horse. Gonna be boring. Our rook is under attack. Okay, we're winning easily. So to answer your question, it's not too easy, but it's like around 5Q maybe. You know what you're doing. You don't have to worry too much. Okay, I downgraded to 7Q right now. Okay, I downgraded it to 11Q. Like it just gives up at this point. And having no samurai spirit is immediately downgrading you to 7Q. Mitsume, yeah. Ta-da! We won. Well, if you ask me how strong something is, I will tell you he's a complete beginner. So yeah, basically today I was thinking of making a short video about my app for YouTube, and tomorrow maybe something about Ishida finally. Before I start learning about the adaptive layout and so on, I think we need to update this one or two Kifu. I mean, Joseki videos channel. Oh, I guess I'm promoting to a 2-star. I beat a 5-star and they give me only 2-star. Are you kidding me? Toad, let's stop joking. Of course, this is what we are going for. Of course, we thought about everything. Let me read from my notebook. 3 weeks ago, I wrote this. I cannot show you my notebook, but it's like full of programming stuff right now. There's like 20 pages of programming stuff. From the early design to current design. And I wrote watch Kifu based on opening. Watch Kifu based on partial position. New Kifu notifications. A forgiven player, or maybe title, or maybe opening. Watched Kifu list. Favorite Kifu list. Then more puzzles. Find the next move. Find checkmate. Time attacks. 5 minutes difference increase. High score. Personal best. Survival mode. Daily Tsume challenges. Daily find more. Next move. Side features, commented pro games, Joseki lines, friend list, high score profiles, achievements, medals, events, special collection, race, picture reveal, others, Kifu saver, freeboard, quick analysis, all of that. All of that I have written down as possible ideas for the most perfect shogi app on the world. I just started with Tsume because I wanted to have daily Tsume because it seems motivating for a player to like solve one Tsume per day and then like get a star or like a medal for it. And this is why we started with that. And of course it shows the shogi board easy way, so it's a good thing to train. What's the worst level? Like 20Q. 30Q. So yes, Todd, we definitely would like to have the login option. But even more. That's what I'm saying. One feature at a time. It's best to keep players motivated. No, it's not about motivating you. It's about me being able to learn the programming language before I make the project too big. I'm not thinking about you guys. I'm thinking totally about myself. Mm. Also, yeah, one feature at a time means you have more control over the bugs. That stuff. You can improve one thing first and then move to the other. Practically speaking, I didn't know how to make menu last week. Like the option menu, it requires the knowledge of something called navigation, which I had to spend, not gonna lie, like 4 hours or more on the tutorial just to do the option thing. Not to mention that in order to control how the options work, that was another like 8 hours at least of learning how the states work. It's called states. Basically, not only like in normal programming, you would have a variable, right? So not only you have a variable, you have to save it. When you close the screen and reopen it, it has to save it. So you need to learn how to do that. But on top of that, they teach you how to model the whole app, where to put those states to make it logical, logic and UI being separate, and the whole thing, which requires you to understand 50 other things. So that took weeks to understand. And this is why I didn't do any Joseki video, because I was so busy with learning all of that. I was learning every day how to do that. So now I was so excited to finally throw it out. I'm happy to have support of Termarch. I'm just like, I really want to do this, but I struggled for it for 2 hours and I don't know how to do it. And he just looks at it. Yeah, so you just do this and this and this. And I'm like, how did you figure it out in 2 minutes when I couldn't in 2 hours? Yeah, that's the difference of Tsume solving speed as well. Like if I can solve Tsume in 11 in few seconds, he would struggle longer. That's the same thing just on the programming round. Yeah. On Shogi Wars, they if you are being found to be a cheater, they lock your avatar behind bars and give you 9,999 Q or something like that. You saw that? Yeah. Pretty epic. So when you get to done, the number raises. For Q, it's like opposite. You want to get to 1 Q, and from done, you want to get to higher done, actually. So it's like karate. It doesn't. No, that's impossible because 81 dojo has maximal of 7. Yep, but if they were Q instead of done, I would laugh. Yes. Ironic for an app that comes with built-in pay-to-win cheating system. You know how they say, it's all fair as long as you give money to the proper people. It's called a bribe. One done per year. Some people jump like to 5 done immediately. I think Lily was like 1 done after a few, like 1 month. But then climbing higher and higher takes more effort. Yeah, the higher you go, the more effort. That's the problem with, well, anything in life, but specifically with done. 1 done is your goal. That's a good goal to have. It's like a black belt. Yeah. This is why we have all those road to 1 done type of things, because that's usually the first thing people want, and it's a great goal. I'm being viciously kicked in my ribs right now. 11. I got kicked so hard in my ribs like 2 days ago that I could feel the whole foot. The whole foot I felt clearly under my ribs. It was such a surprising thing to experience. Talking about my pregnancy, of course. I hate on 81 dojo people start rapid attack, not letting me cast. Yeah, but that happens on lower levels later. They don't play. I keep the games to watch. So basically, that means they usually over attack. If you have one more defensive move than they do, you should not play them. But yeah, in that case, you cannot finish the castle. You just have to start fighting. As you know, once the war starts, peace is not an option. Yeah, you have to defeat them. Defend your nation. Yeah. No more castle building. No more monument. No, what was the name of that in Civ game again? Wonder. No more wonder creation. You have to build those catapults and throw them off of your city, as they're gonna change it to a puppet city. Yep. What do you think about Sugai's belief that anyone can get to Shorekai 3 down level if they work hard enough? So it depends, like, because nowadays I feel like the level is raising generally because of computers. So, like, of course, if you were to a lot of effort, you can like be very, very strong and so on. To beat Fuji, you need to be a little bit more talented and motivated and so on. But definitely, you can get strong at Shogi. Our only problem in Europe and like non-Japanese countries is that we don't really have resources to do it well. Perhaps it will take more time for us than in comparison to like young Japanese child or whatever. But I literally yesterday I saw a tweet from someone saying they told me I cannot get stronger. But after playing every day very hard, I finally got the 6 done on Shogi Wars. So yeah, I literally read something like this yesterday. So yeah, you can get stronger. Yes, it will take time. Yes, maybe it will be slower at slower rate than like young people, because young people are like sponges, yeah, kids and stuff. They're like sponges. And also the fact that we don't have materials. Yeah, it will take much more personal effort for you to understand something that's perhaps obvious for someone in Japan because they have a book about it. Yeah. A little bit sad, but that's the reality. Next Gifu review is on Sunday, of course. Yeah, this is why I'm doing those reviews on Sunday. I'm trying to level up. Speaking of leveling up skills, I'm trying to level up as a shogi teacher as well. Definitely streaming for 3 years. Oh god, it has been 3 years already. I feel like it might be. You guys might have a different feeling, and please tell me. But I feel like I level up my teaching skill through those 3 years. And the problem with teaching, you have to be a little bit of a psychologist, coach, and you not only have to have the understanding of the game, you have to understand what the person can do and how to not outburden them. You need to understand exactly which level they are and what's going to benefit them the most to learn, which is, as you can see, very, very complex thing to describe, not to mention to actually put it in the practice. But being a teacher is a good thing. For example, I can tell to Eon, oh, you should solve Summon 15 in a glance. Yeah, I don't have to do it myself, but I know that strong people at his level would be able to do it, so I can give him a pointer toward the directions. I don't have to be on that level myself, but because of my experience as a pro and as a teacher, I can just point him toward a good direction. So sometimes the best teacher are not the strongest players too, yeah? Perhaps strongest players are the worst teachers, because they got to that level. Sometimes they don't remember what it means to be weak. Yeah, sometimes. Anyway, that was a rant again. Can we buy personal lessons? Yes. I'm currently teaching Mizuti on Fridays. I'm recording those lessons and I'm thinking of turning them into YouTube videos, but I didn't feel like it would make a good YouTube video yet, so. Ishogi is empty, yes. Ishogi is already aside, it's very similar to leeches. Everybody knows that. Oh, know about leeches. I even have my own personal layout for Ishogi. Yes, yes. At my level, like when I was your age, when I was in Japan, like when became Fortin at Dojo, I was solving very difficult books that I couldn't solve right now. Basically, always strive to be better, always. Because if you want, it's not that you want to be as strong as the people you're playing with. You want to overcome them. So, and they can solve Tsume in 15. You have to make sure you solve Tsume in 17. Right? It's that easy. I have Shogi Sekai Tsume, which are very good to train. Tsume Paradise is also another thing you could use to train. Those are like the Tsume that you have on Daishogi, for example, are classical, but the Tsume in those books, they just force you to train and think of variations that you wouldn't normally think about. Again, they have stuff that can you use to level up faster. There are many ways to improve. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, Tsume is like something you have to, something that's gonna decide the game at your level. Always, after all, always. The fact that I got to Fordan is because I grinded so much Tsume that even with the disadvantage in the middle game, I could outplay my opponent. Shogi Sekai, yeah, it's a magazine actually. I actually get it sent from Japan because as a pro you get it for free. I have some. I can show you one. They also have like this mini book. Okay. So, for example, this one, and you open it at the end. Submit 1, submit 3, 5, submit 7, 9. And then there's like find the next move. This smells like Japan. Okay, so for example, I know you cannot see my friend. The webcam is off. I'm trying to open the book, put it in front of me, open Play Shogi and type it there. I'm not gonna show you my webcam. I'm not in a state to show my webcam. Alright, so for example, we have something like that. It's like the first problem from this one. Then we have this. Here you go. I solved it already. Yeah, but my name is written with K, so I don't believe you. I don't know who's Tsaro, but I think you can buy it on MyNavi in digital version. Book.mynavi. Yep, Karo. Like the Karo you have in the diamond, the card. That Karo. Oh, this is. For example, this is Shogi Sekai. Waidaban. I don't know it's Waidaban, but basically. Oh, but this is not online. Did they stop making the online version? Oh, they say it's twice as big as the normal one. And it's only sold here. I think this is the wrong one. So this one is only the. That's disappointing if they don't have PDF version. Oh, PDF. Yeah, they will have PDF. Oh, this one, for example, yeah. One. It says it has PDF. So this one is even cheaper, as you can see, because it's February. And basically you click PDF, and then you will have to fill up the forms and pay it. Basically, the way it works, you pay for it, then on your page you can download it. And of course, they say use it it's for your personal use. You cannot share it. Blah 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 blah. You're gonna be sued if you do. So this is why totally we're not sharing Tsume from that exact book. Anyway, every week they have like new ones. So for example, here 3 to 5 moves, they have like 10 of them. The next page is 7 to 9. There's also 10 of them. And they used to have like even harder ones for like more advanced people. They have like this one super hard that got a prize. Oh yeah, they do have. Mm-hmm. And they show you answer only in the next issue, kind of. Where? Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. It's called Sume Shogi Saron. And they divide it into one dan, middle dan, and high dan. I said one dan, but actually it says beginner, middle, beginner, up beginner, whatever. And the beginner level is under 11 moves, then it's between 11 and 15, and then a higher level is 15 to 17. So those are the ones that you should be solving, the Eon. Wanna get strong. So for example, the first one, look something like this. Night. For example, this is like the first problem. Play. Couldn't get out of the bed until I solved it. Usually it's the opposite. You do it before you sleep and then you solve it in the dream. Have you considered turning your story into becoming out of age professional shogi player into anime? It already is, yeah. There is one short anime about. Morning, Gohenra. Called Calorie Mate. So those are, even though it's like 11 moves, it's supposed to be a little bit harder than normal 11 moves. I mean, it could be 7, it could be 9, it could be whatever. You don't know, but you know it's under 11. I was solving Tsume on my app, like for testing purposes and so on, and I realized how much slower I've gotten with the Tsume solving. It's really a skill that you need to keep cultivating as you forget. I guess you solved it already then, Leon? You got stuck. Okay. I guess me too. I mean, I see the first move, but then there's like a meter drop or something, which is crazy. It's evil. And this is why those are good practice. This is the exact reason, yeah. Oh, wait, my 81 dojo sound was too loud. Maybe that's why people didn't. Or sorry about it. You people. That's a weird phrase in English. You people. How dare you do this stream? You people. Always complaining. You people. Also, I have no answer in case you wanted to know. Oh, it ended in a weird moment. Why did it end? Why do we resign in position? Okay. As I said, no fighting spirit is. I handed. You always have to fight until the end. You know what's worse? When you set up a Tsumi problem on your board and then turns out you were putting the one piece in the wrong square the whole time. Yep, that happened. This is why I always double check after like 1 hour, like few minutes. I triple double check. You get a bonus problem. That's also true, but not necessarily a solvable one. The problem. There is the one book that's called Sume or Not, and you have to find Sume or Not, and that's the most evil book there is. Especially the Sumes are very very long. All right, good luck. This cleaning not an easy thing compared to this problem. Oh. What if it's... You prefer this problem? Yep. Exactly. Hello, Lincoln. Okay. Now that we've arrived at this point, how can we continue? Wait, but that's too fast. Something's wrong. I can feel it. Something's wrong. Feel it in the air. That means you're getting too stressed. I have a baby in my stomach. That's a problem. Right. So what should I solved it for all the pieces. I'm very confused, right? Double check the problem correctness. That's gonna be yes, correct. By the way, speaking of professional speed, my teacher would glance at the problem and then just do all the stuff he had to, and he's like, then like different stuff. I don't know. He's making popcorn, and he's like, I solved it without looking at it even. Speak about scary speed, which means it has to be between 11 to like, let's say, cannot be easy. So if you solve it in like 3 moves, that means it's wrong. You solved it in like 5 moves, that means it's wrong. Okay. So, oh, okay, I see, maybe. Let me see, those 2 pieces, right? No, but this is still leading to a mate. No, it's not leading to a mate. Miscalculated. Okay, I think I found my failure. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and no, 9 is mate. What's the difference between those 2 pieces then? confusion. I think I see. All right. I think I found in 9. How many? So the specification from the book is under 11 moves, which could indicate probably something like 7, 9, or 11. It won't be shorter. It could be 11, but considering it's the first problem, it's more likely it's 7 or 9. More likely 9, because I see it in 9 moves, but... You think you have a solution. All right, if we have one more person who says, I think I have a solution, we're gonna combine the answers. On the 7. All right. All right. So what's your guys' first move? Silver drop to 2. 2, 4. Oh god, we all have different answers. Oh god, we all have different answers. Okay, Schmidt, I think we agree. So my main problem is what happens when the king runs here, guys. So if you drop silver to 4, how exactly are you going to stop? If you drop silver to 2, how exactly are you going to stop? If you go horse to 5, drop to 5, but you can take it. There's nothing protecting the lens. You thought it's gonna be that easy? You thought, oops, wait, what? That's a bug. I cleared the arrows and it cleared the position. What the freak? What the freak just happened? It's a feature. Okay, I'm gonna... sorry, I have to redo the problem. No, it's not F. I would just have to... Clear means clear. It didn't clear it. Telmarch. You guys spam Telmarch on Discord. Feature. It's a feature, of course. Speaking of the states, this is what happens in Android when you don't skip the states. It's gonna refresh your whole screen without keeping the data you had on it. So this is why I had to spend 1.5 weeks learning how exactly to prevent something from this happening in the Android. Yeah, in case you were wondering. All right. I think it was this. Yeah, and now we're gonna play and we're gonna save. That's problem. Shogi Sekai 11. Unable to log in. Damn it! Okay, I'm just not gonna draw the arrows, alright? So, in case you've been wondering and wanting to play horse here, and they're gonna drop something here, this is not the correct answer. Doesn't matter what they drop. This is gonna lead to early tsume. Yeah? Even if it's a silver or a bishop, it's still gonna lead to early tsume. Yeah, something like this, yeah? Still gonna lead to early tsume. And you have a lens in hand. Something's wrong, right? So tsume in 7, incorrect. Yeah, I'm afraid to pick those arrows now. So I think the correct solution is to drop something here, actually. Because if you drop a piece here, and then you take it, then the king. Wait, am I making sense or? Well, in this case, it would be yeah. Okay. In the king run, let's say. Okay, this doesn't work. Actually. But okay, which was the correct variation in that case? I guess the pawn just doesn't work. But the idea is you need to use more pieces to get to the king, yeah, and then you use more of them. Here we end up with pawn in hand. This is why it's not nice, and this is why we have to calculate which piece it is. In case of pawn, yes, it's also silver drop, lance drop also works in the same principle. But then this goes here, so this time we can play this. So there are two ways to checkmate with the pawn drop, which indicates that's not the correct solution. If you calculate correctly, the same thing happens with lance and the knight because they don't cover the diagonal square, don't draw the arrow. Now with the generals, rook or gold, we just gonna just not to reveal the actual answer. We can just take it and drop the silver and drop the gold, and it's gonna stack up into, like, if this was a silver, we just take and take, yeah. So it's gonna stack up. Same with the rook, because the problem I think is when it's silver bishop, because they go diagonally backward. And for example, yeah, if it's a silver and we go with the same approach as before, instead of king takes, silver or bishop can take this one. Which I think leads to the actual solution like this. But now the question is, what's the difference between silver and the bishop? And Ion gives us the solution that if it was a bishop, you can just take it, grab it from behind. And this apparently leads to area solution. So the silver drop, what is it, Ion? I think this is solution. This in 9. So this is why Shogi Sakaitsuma are cool. Sorry about that, Ion. Because they force you to know the small moves like this bishop drop 3-1, which I missed actually. I think with the bishop the same line works, so I'm confused. Let me double check that. Yeah, with the bishop, I thought the same line worked. I think it works with. Yeah, so this is why I was confused, because it also works. So this is not a very good problem, like from artistic point of view. But the reason why the bishop is not the correct answer is that there is a faster line checkmate. Yeah, no matter what they drop, this leads to a mate. Yep, and the first move is very interesting though, like this move followed by a middle drop. This is something very hard to see. And even though it's very short, like Tsume 9, you could consider short compared to other moves in 17. But the fact that those problems in the book contains those kind of evil drops, they're like, let's call it harder difficulty level. You would say that length is the difficulty level, but also there's the complexity, and this one is definitely more complex, right? You have to read all the possible drops. So this one is more complex, therefore making it more of a more efficient training. Yeah, then you just take it and you go with the horse here, as we established previously. Here. Lance in the corner. Oh, this is a pawn, yeah. Sorry about that. This is also a cool thing. Sometimes you think it's a lance automatically, but actually it's a knight or a lance. It's something we have to be very careful. Even Mifa missed it once in his game. He thought there is a lance, but it was a gold one. Yeah, and usually they follow the whole month. They follow the same theme. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave you with another problem if you want for homework. Let's call it, because I will finish soon this week. Number 2 from the same book would be something like this, and because this is the last of the Shokyu, this is most likely it's the main 11. Like, you can be sure that it's the main 11. Sometimes for the new year they confuse you and do all the main 7, for example, but this is not the case here. This most likely will be the main 11. And we have rook and a pawn in hand. Yeah. So you guys can, I don't know, like print screen it, put it on Discord if you want. And because we have a pawn in hand, that's most likely indicating that there's a pawn drop checkmate somewhere, which we know is illegal. I'm very confused. I see like the first move. And it looks like main 5 for me, so I'm very confused. Oh, because it's again a middle drop problem. Oh no. I told you the same thing is gonna be happening, right? All the variation leads to a mate apart from that middle drop. Oh no. Ah! And there's a small important fact to notice about that middle drop. Sometimes you have to calculate that they cannot drop like a certain piece because all of the others are on the board. Here, probably Nifu is the issue for them. Hydrate, I don't have water. The last drop from my bottle. um, just a few more seconds, I think. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11. I think I found it. Just didn't calculate the other line. So this one, as we said, is less complex, yeah, because there isn't this weird check with the horse. And there is, instead of 2 middle drops, we have only 1. So it's perhaps easier to solve. But the point being, they have a pawn on 2-1, which limits their middle drop option. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, give you a few more seconds, guys, to try it, and then we can compare answers, or I will give you this as homework. I will get more water. All right. Should we leave it for homework, guys? Without the hint of meter dropping. Yeah, but this is what's good about those. It just um Jen, are you here? Jen is not here. Okay, yeah. Uh, okay, this is what's cool about this magazine, that it keeps the same theme through the whole like the set of Tsume. All right, I see you put it in Shogi Problems Muse. How come your screen is different color than mine, though? Did you put a filter on it? uh, the 9 move was way more devilish. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about with the complexity. You don't know. Okay, it looks like a filter on your phone or something. I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm gonna leave you here. I don't know. Let me know if you like this weekly recap of this series. Again, next time I will try to write down as I'm watching the games what I liked, so that I don't get confused during the stream. That's gonna probably help. Um, I'll try to record those 2 videos today and tomorrow. Yeah. For the app, for now we are like in the testing period. I probably won't be updating it too soon because I overworked too hard in the recent days. Let's see. Sleeping Beauty. Okay, yeah, I guess we're gonna leave it here then. I'll see you guys on the Discord then. Is there a way to just get Sumishagi? Um, I think there is way more things that you would benefit from than just the Sumishagi. Like there is find the next move. There's some Kifu. You can watch. There's some cool pictures of pro, or like sometimes even like foreign clubs, shogi clubs, or local tournaments. So I definitely recommend buying it if you're interested, especially in PDF. If it's like in a book, from personal experience, if it's like in a book form, it's like one every month, which stacks up very quickly. But if it's PDF, I really recommend. And then we can always make a collection on Play Shogi and then speed run it or whatever. Yeah, or you can even share it with other people. I mean, Mika, you shouldn't. We know how it goes. Anyway, yeah, I will see you guys on Saturday, and please don't forget about your TT series games. I'm gonna send up a reminder now. But for now, have a nice day. Bye bye.